I think it's so watered down that everybody thinks like, okay, if I could get 250 shots up a day, I should be good, instead of situational shit that you got to do in order to achieve the highest.
Yeah, I think there's something to getting the shots up. I think there's something to working your game. I think there's something to all of that. But I also think there's a competitive spirit that you lose when you. The one thing we had in our neighborhood, and this is Memphis in general, I'm sure you guys had in South Carolina. I don't run from nobody.
Right.
I don't care what your name is. I don't care what your rank is. I don't care who is he. I don't run from nobody.
Hey, welcome to the Teed Up Podcast. Got Uncle Phil. We got pretty much the title of the show. T. Moran here, a.k.a. Pops.
Yo.
And, I mean, this is an honor for me, personally. The guest we have on the show today, legend here in the city of Memphis.
Definitely.
11, 12-year career, am I correct? We're going back to this right now, but played 4 years of college basketball, 12 years in the NBA, and just a legend in this city. I got to see Elliot Perry play when I was a youngster. Actually was a bigger baseball fan than basketball. My junior high coach took us to a game, and my cousin was playing, JoJo English, and they actually played the Memphis State Tigers. So back then, the Metro Conference, believe it or not, Memphis and South Carolina was in the same conference. Elliot hit a buzzer beater on South Carolina and broke their heart. This is the first person that I saw stand up on the press row, basically like, get y'all ass up out of here. Socks up to his knees, goggles, short shorts. I learned later that his nickname was Chuck.
Yeah.
He wear Chuck Taylors all the time too, by the way. But it's our honor to have him on the podcast today. Thank you for being here with us, Elliot.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys for having me, man.
Yes, sir.
It's an honor and a pleasure, for sure.
My first question, why is 34 so significant?
I mean, I don't, it became significant, I think, when I was in high school, when I made the team, my high school coach, he was like, you're going to play on the B team, but you're going to dress on the A team because I want you to get the experience on the A team. So, again, when you're young, when I came in, he was just like, what number you want? I'm like, I don't know. And
You got the leftovers.
I just got, exactly, I got the leftovers. I ended up getting 34 and, that just stuck with me. So it really didn't have any significance then, but, obviously I carried it out through college and all of those things. So that's how I got the number.
And it's retired now at the University of Memphis. So being from Memphis, growing up here, this was funny. Old school guy told me in 2019 when I got here, said, everybody always talk about Penny Hardaway. And I graduated high school 91. I think that was your last year at Memphis.
College, yep.
Penny was at Memphis at the time. Yep. I went to junior college in Tennessee. So the guys were Penny in Memphis and Allen Houston in Knoxville. But when I got here, they said, it's Jesus, then it's Chuck. And I'm like, then it's Elliot Perry, then it's Penny Hardaway. Describe like the style of basketball and like the upbringing in this city, because Memphis is a basketball city.
Oh man, no. For me, you just had to earn your keep. Wasn't you go to the gym, you work out, you shoot 1,000 shots. You didn't do any of that. Like you go to the gym, which was a community center for us, or in your neighborhood, you're playing against older guys. And really, you just had to earn your keep.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember, like back in the day, there used to be like in our community centers, we called it big end, little end.
Okay.
So young kids played on the
Yeah.
Big kids played on this end. You signed the list, and you couldn't go down there and sign the list unless you had game with the older guys.
We did that at the base gym, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we had to go in the little gym while the military guys. And when we did sign our name on the list, in the gym, the military guy would come and race out there.
Erase your name, or it was 4 people go 4 down and then put their name down and say like, I'm not playing with this guy. And for me, my deciding moment was when you were going to the gym. When we came to the gym, we walked up there one morning and the gym director pointed at the list to me, like, sign your name.
Right.
And like then that's an opportunity for you to really like, if you don't do your job, you're going back down on the little end.
Oh, that's I made it.
That's how you make it.
That was your I made it moment?
And not necessarily my I made it moment, but my opportunity moment where I'm going to play on this end and I'm not going back down to the little
right.
end. And then you just grow from there because guys push you. They didn't let you off the hook. They didn't sugarcoat anything. They kick your ass, and then either you stood up to them or you didn't.
How was your initial day then?
It was good. I mean, I just to me, I was more thinking about, because I was killing guys on the little end. I was just thinking more about like, if I'm open, make a shot.
Yeah.
Don't try to do anything I can't do.
Right.
Pass the ball to the guys who you thought in your neighborhood who really could play. And so the rest was history. I didn't go back down on the little end, but I just admire the way I came up, because I knew I had to earn everything that, from a basketball perspective, that I got. And funny story, not to be long with it, but funny story was, I remember they had these guys in my neighborhood, Ed Lemon, they had John, they had, Pop Short, they had all these guys. These guys were played in college or were finished college, so these guys were grown men. And when I was a sophomore in high school, I got a big write-up in the paper, and so came to the gym that summer. Ed Lemon was like, John was like, man, we see your name in the paper, but you hadn't got past us.
Right.
We're not coming to see you play, so the only time we're going to come to see you play is when you get past us.
The rite of passage.
And, that year, which going into my junior year, that summer, I had a big summer against those guys. Going to my junior year, I tell this story all the time. I came out, the very first game I came out for warm-ups, I saw Ed and John sitting on the front row of the bench, and I just saw those guys, and they just nodded at me. So again, to me, that's
a big deal.
You made,
you
got past us, so it's okay.
That like in South Carolina for us, me and T both, it's so crazy because I don't want to get his title wrong. We call him Nine, but his name Anthony Dennis.
Yeah,
but he is like basically what would be the chief of police
sheriff right
now.
Yeah.
But when we were growing up, like our gym wasn't that big. I think we were only, I think the bleachers only went up like 5 rows on both sides. And then there was a stage on one end and just a baseline and a wall, and then the 2 openings for the restroom. So the baseline was standing room only. And I remember Nine was like just a regular patrol cop then.
Deputy.
But it was cool to see them, and then some of the older guys, some of them were football players and stuff, but just to see them, they're Friday night, they're right there before they hit the streets and stuff. And that was a big deal. And it's like that nostalgia to go home and like, man, he was just getting into the police force, and now he's the chief of police, but they used to be at our game. And that was like an honor, for them to be there. The guys you named, did they, not just playing against them, like, was it important for them to help you with your game, or they just competed and you just had to get better?
No, I think they just competed and you had to get better.
Gotcha.
Like it wasn't any, we're going to go to the side gym, shoot 1,000 shots. We're going to show you this. And you're like, no, we're just going to beat you down, and we want to see if you come back the next day.
Right.
And to me, like, that's the way I looked at not just basketball, but just life. Is like there's so many ebbs and flows in basketball. So many ebbs and flows in life. When I was growing up, I didn't know this at the time, but I'll be back tomorrow. He got me today. I'll be back the next day. He got me. I'll be back the next day.
You lose sleep.
And then what happens is, like there's a tipping point where all of a sudden you see yourself. I got T today. Oh, T got me the next day. Oh, I got, so you start to see yourself getting better.
Right.
And, to me, that's like the ultimate reward.
I think that's what basketball sports is missing for real is that competitiveness of every day you got to grind. Like when we came up in the dirt, it was always like we were sport to sport, right? But at the same time, we had to go in the house with these same people who just beat our ass, or we just beat their ass, or, you know, and me and him competed to the utmost. I'm talking about like fighting on the daily because we hated to lose so bad. But at the same time, like the iron sharpen iron thing, it was like, okay, so if you got that challenge every day, right, you got no choice but to get better. Like 93 when we won the state championship. Me and Rados, we probably played the whole summer together. I'm talking about we'll go here, play, go there, play, go there, play, and feel those involved, they playing as well. You know, when Ja came up, same thing what you said, I pretty much threw him in the fire. I took him down to, you know, Rafton Creek, shout out to Rafton Creek, where a lot of the college basketball players was, the high school basketball player was, and Ja was a little runt. And when I put him out there, I was like, yo, y'all can foul him, just don't hurt him.
Yeah.
Why? Because I figured this is how he's gonna get better. I got better from playing against my big cousin and older people, right? So when I faced my peers, I was, all right, I'm good. Yeah. But now you got it that I think it's so watered down that everybody thinks like, okay, if I could get 250 shots up a day, you know, I should be good, instead of situational shit that you got to do in order to achieve the highest.
Yeah, I think there's something to getting the shots up. I think there's something to working your game. I think there's something to all of that, but I also think there's a competitive spirit that you lose when you. The one thing we had in our neighborhood, and this is Memphis in general, I'm sure you guys had in South Carolina, I don't run from nobody.
Right.
I don't care what your name is. I don't care what your rank is. I don't care who is he. I don't run from nobody. And that competitive spirit is is the buildup. It's like, okay, they say field of one.
Yep.
Let's see, you know, and you may get me.
Right.
You know, so I just think like that part could be a lost art where guys don't want to compete at the level and compete against anybody because either they heard he was a 5-star, they heard he was a 4-star, or he's in North Carolina or in, you know, South Carolina, wherever he is, it doesn't matter.
Right.
He knows some stories, because with him saying that, as far as Phil, Ja's junior year, that happened, and highly touted, North Carolina, you know, respect to him. Ja had to play against him. And that was Ja quote, because everybody was on social media. Yeah, this was going to happen when Ja see him. That's going to really show. And Ja just simply quoted.
State love that type stuff.
Hey, and Ja,
as a fan,
said,
you love it.
Ja said, if he better than me, he got to show me.
Got to show.
You know, at the end of the day, Ja had 36, 11, and 8 and a W.
But I think that comes through. I think that still comes through in Ja game and in his personality. You know, again, he's a guy who emotional. He wears this. He has a chip on his shoulder, but you can tell like if he say who he say he is, or they say who he say he is I want to play against him and I want to compete. You know, and so I just like that part of the game and of life too. It's just like, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
I think those, you know, just second both things you said, as far as you competed, they didn't pull you to the side and did the drills and the work, but yeah, it's a place for both of those. And I think a lot of the guys, especially in our area and then moving forward, the ones that were the better basketball players, they had a good mix of both. They would get their work in, their individual work in, and then they came to compete. You knew they was going to be there every day. And then you're going to see the work, because their jump shot might be a little better. Their handles might be a little sharper and stuff like that. So you see that, and then you're like, all right, now it makes sense. I think it's a lot of, just my opinion, I think it's a lot of training going on. Yeah. It's just not translated over. You get what I'm saying? It's like
competing.
You went to the gym.
Training and competing is two different things.
You went to the gym early. I know for me, I went to the gym. I knew the run started at 4:30.
Right.
And this is after I went to college for a couple of years and stuff. So now I'm on a bit of a regimen where now I'm going to the gym at 2 and lifting. Then I'm going to get in and get some shots up. And by then, people starting to come into the
Right, then I'm
gym.
gonna play, but you're still gonna play.
Yes,
Yeah.
you definitely gonna play. That's the
Gotta
bottom
play.
line. But
Gotta play.
the ones that were better, and I just think now it's more. All right, I did the work. Can I go home now?
Yeah, right.
Instead of
Right.
compete. If it ain't a tournament, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's AAU, a church league, a rec league, or whatever, they're home.
Yeah.
Shoes off. I ain't even thinking
Video
about
game,
basketball
yeah,
no
I
more.
didn't think
Like,
about
right?
basketball.
They live in the pro life, and
Yeah.
and they ain't even got there yet. I'm staying in Memphis because I got to. Why was it so important to stay home?
I think for a couple of reasons. When I retired, my thought was, I'm gonna take a year off. Learn how
I'm talking about college.
college.
You going to-
College. At the time, most people stayed home in Memphis. You had Andre Turner, you had, Baskerville Holmes, you had Vincent Askew, the white boy, all those guys, Rodney Douglas.
The white boy,
Lamar
that's his name?
Alexander.
Y'all
Yeah.
just call him the white boy?
Yeah. No, Dwight boy.
The white
No,
boy.
yeah.
I thought you said a white
No,
boy.
no, Dwight.
said he a legend.
Dwight. Yeah, no,
like,
Dwight.
Hey, boy, you ain't never heard of the
No, Dwight. But all those guys, they and I competed against those guys when I was in high school. My mentor, Michael Tony, would take me to Memphis State at the time when they were playing pickup games, and they would just let me play because they knew, man, this young cat, and Andre Turner, they would again kill me. But being recruited, being a McDonald's All-American, being recruited all over the country, it came down to a conversation that Coach Finch, who was my coach in
Right.
college, and I had, man. I was getting all these phone calls, and the day before I signed, he called me. It was maybe like 12 o'clock at night. Phone rang, and he just had a honest conversation with me.
Right.
He was a first-time head coach. This was his first recruiting class. He just said, "I need you. If you're ever going to make a significant impact, it's going to be here in Memphis. I need you because obviously the team needs you, but you'll be the first McDonald's All-American to ever sign with the school, and long term, it's going to be a tremendous benefit for you long term to be
Right.
here in Memphis." And he didn't really have to sell me on that, but I felt like that was the tipping point for me to say. And I told my mom that next morning when I woke up that I was going to sign with Memphis, and it was the right thing to do. I mean,
Right.
Coach Finch was a tremendous coach for me, a tremendous mentor for me, tremendous father figure for me, and he held me accountable. And those are the things that I think helped me as a person more than it did a basketball player.
Yeah, it's crazy because in my head, I'm laughing. I'm talking to the young people right now. Back then, with no cell phone, with no text messages, I'm actually surprised that the coach got through because usually around 11, 12 o'clock at night, you on the phone and two-way wasn't even really a thing. So that phone
Right.
busy
Yeah.
because that's the only time your parents actually let you.
He was studying plays.
Yeah, you had to be because usually you're talking to a girl around that time because your parents wouldn't let you get on the phones after they got on, and most of the time people had to do that little emergency breakthrough. Like I really want to talk to him, but for you to actually get that call and be able to comprehend what he's saying, outside of just basketball, like the community part, that's a big deal.
Well, and
Hold on. And you was in the house at 12 o'clock?
I was in the house.
Memphis?
Oh yeah, I was definitely in the house. Yeah, I was definitely in the house.
That's interesting.
Yeah, this was a school night.
That was school night?
Yeah. But if you knew Coach Finch, obviously he was tremendous basketball player. Legendary here.
Yes.
And so when they came to when he talked to my mom, when he talked to my grandmother, they remember Coach Finch as a player.
Right.
I only remember him as a coach,
Right.
but I know all the stories. And my mom always used to say, I'm handing my son off to you now. And he's like, you don't have to worry about it. If I say I'm gonna do something, I'm going to do it. And last conversation he had with my mom said, hold on now. Before we sign these papers, we were at the Memphis State in the office. He said, let's get something straight. He said, how much tuition is gonna cost me?
Right.
Like zero. Room and board, food, books, Zero. He's like, okay, I'm just making sure that
Right.
nothing is coming out of my pocket. But, that's a funny story. But again, Coach Finch was a tremendous asset to my life. And,
Right.
I owe him a lot.
Man, that's big time right there, especially who's coaching you. So I'm guessing too, I brought up Penny earlier, the same type of pattern. He's actually coming to Memphis State playing against you guys before he even signs with Memphis.
Yeah.
But y'all didn't even I don't think y'all got to play together.
No, we didn't.
State.
We played in high school together.
Gotcha.
So we were at the same high school. But I wish he would have played. My senior year was his freshman year.
State, right?
No, we didn't.
Y'all do.
We lost in the sub. We ended up losing the
Man, there's some hoopers in this city.
Going to state. He was a 9th grader, so
Okay.
we lost the game before going to the state. But he had a crazy impact his freshman year, and we knew that he was special.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, man, we just, I wish I would have had an opportunity to play with him.
Right.
My senior year in college and his freshman year. I think that would have
How about
been big.
David Vaughn? It was later?
Yeah, he was later.
Okay, gotcha. I remember him playing too. So 4 years. I got to ask this before I get to the draft. You already had NBA in your sights, or was it, I'm going to play college basketball?
I knew I was going to play college basketball.
Knew
for
that.
Sure. Like I didn't feel like when you watch the NBA, you want to go to the NBA, but I felt like there was another step I had to take. And so in college, I was really just pushing myself in college every day.
Gotcha.
Whether that was conditioning, whether that was working out, getting up shots, and then competing at my highest. And then the summer of going into my junior year, was my sophomore. I finished my sophomore year. We tried out for the World Games team. So, when you go,
which is now the Olympic team,
now,
like a Team USA.
Yeah,
gotcha.
So this was qualifying team for the Olympic team, for the World Games, and we go to Colorado Springs, and it's I can't remember, maybe 120 guys there, and
for what,
college
12
players
spots?
for 12 spots, and I think this was a turning point in knowing that I could go to the NBA. This is.
Who was the coach, by the way?
Coach was Bobby Crimmins.
Okay.
Oh, Georgia Tech. He was at Georgia Tech?
He a point guard coach too.
So you get there and it is what it is. You go
Right.
at it.
Dog eat dog.
You got 7 days to go at it for them to cut a team down to. Well, we'll do that 2 weeks. Cut the team down to 12, and they're making cuts every day.
Right.
So their first day, they're making cuts the first day because they see.
Yeah.
Not waste no time. And Gary Payton was my roommate.
That's a dynamic there,
G.
bro.
Payton, every day he was like, EP, you can make this thing, man. And so one thing he did that I really loved and I appreciate was because we worked out in the morning times, and then at nighttime we scrimmaged every night.
Right.
Put EP on my team. With me, EP. Telling the coaches there. And GP gonna D up.
Yeah.
I was D'ing up, and he was just, and that just gave me like,
Oh, boy.
I got GP with me,
Yeah,
GP on my side.
Yeah.
GP
Y'all
on my
locking
side.
up that perimeter.
And I remember the last day, man, we were laying in the bed. We had like these bunk beds. He was like, I think you in, P. So the way they did it is at 12 o'clock, they come put the list up. It's like, this the last list. Your name on the list, you're good. If not, see me in the morning, we head home.
Right.
Name was on the list, and that was, that got me to thinking, okay, I can do this. Out of 150 players, we cut it down to 12, and I'm still here.
Right.
So they just gave me the confidence that I could do it.
Gotcha. So now you going into the league. Clippers, I think, drafted you. Did you feel like, hey man, I got to? So you were scoring guard more than a passing guard, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You used to get buckets. So did they tell you like you got to change your game? You got to be more of a pass first guard than a scoring guard, or just keep doing what you're doing?
I mean, I could adapt.
Okay.
Like I could, if I had scores with me, I can adapt and be a pass first guard and still score. But being 6 feet, 155. I didn't know like where I fit in.
And that's in the
And
league?
then
So you're coming into the league and whatnot. You go from Memphis to LA. And it's like, all right, I got to adjust
Big ass
to.
coach.
I had to adjust, big culture shock for me. And good thing about it was,
Shake somebody with you?
I went on my own.
Just you?
Yeah. And the good thing about it was,
say
I had,
Memphis, you know about
and this has been throughout my career. I've always had veteran guys, just for whatever reason, I got you.
Because I think it's because how you carry yourself. I think you probably can remember the angriest you ever got because you're so mild-mannered. The angriest you ever got was when?
Probably when I lost the Player of the Year to Clarence Weatherspoon in
Oh,
college. Yeah,
Southern Miss?
Southern Miss.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
He
that was probably it that night. I was
Never injected.
thought I had it, but it wasn't meant to be. But if you think about, I could adapt,
Yeah.
and I remember this like it was yesterday. You're at the combines and all of that. They get you in the hotel room. You have these interviews with these coaches, with teams. So Clippers never interviewed me. So they just drafted me. The last interview I had before I came home was with the Detroit Pistons.
Okay.
So I'm sitting in this room. Obviously, you're looking at Chuck Daly. You're looking
Yeah.
at, okay. So the assistant coaches, they grilling me. Same thing you're talking about. 6 feet. Your jump shot, okay. Don't have size. You're a good defender, but you're still small, skinny. Giving me all the things that,
Yeah.
all my weaknesses.
Yeah. What they think is a weakness. Yeah.
So he said, I'm just giving you the report on you, what you think. And I said, the one thing they can't measure is what's inside my chest.
Right.
And and Chuck Daly was sitting right here. And I saw Chuck Daly do like this. Back was like, this our guy.
You thought you was going to be a bad
This
boy.
it. This our guy.
Right.
And so leading up to the draft, I was a 37th pick, and Detroit 38th pick. And
Wow.
I got a call. Detroit next. You good. 38th pick, we got you. So I'm
Yeah, you got your promise. Yeah.
prepared to go, And the 37th pick, the Clippers took me at 37.
So LA, I think you went.
Yeah, I only played 10. I got to LA.
He got 10.
Guys took care of me like Olden Polynice, Charles Smith. I mean, those guys. Danny Manning was there. I
Who was
knew
it?
Danny Manning.
Was it Mark
Ron
Jackson?
Harper.
Who was the
Mark
point guard?
Jackson was there. The point guard was actually the point guard that year. They had just traded for Doc Rivers. So Doc,
6'5".
yeah, Doc. I was Doc rookie, and I was Danny Manning's rookie.
Gotcha.
So both of those two guys. They had Gary Grant there, Ken Norman. So we had me. James Edwards, Buddha Edwards.
Yeah,
We had a really good
Buddha.
team. Yeah, we had a really good team that year.
Hold
I
on,
played
Buddha was at
with the
Clippers?
Clippers.
Yeah.
Before they traded?
No, this was after.
After
This was
Detroit?
after. This was after they won the championship.
Yeah, this is
Okay,
Detroit.
okay. Oh, yeah, that is right. That is right.
And,
That was 90, 91.
That was Chicago time.
Yeah.
89, 90, yeah.
And so, I ended up playing 10 games with them and got released. Then 48 hours later, I got picked up by Charlotte.
Yep.
Rookie year out with Charlotte.
I do remember Charlotte. So now it's like, all right, now I'm adjusting to the pro stuff, which I'm trying to think. So Charlotte, and then it wasn't Phoenix yet.
Then see, I think people miss, and that's why I think about when I think about life, and when I'm talking to young people, this game it ebbs, particularly when you're a 6 foot point guard, it ebbs and flows. 'Cause I know some 6 foot guards that you guys know too, that's killers. Should be in the league.
Yeah.
Hands down, guys should be in the league.
Right.
There's no question about it. And so this the part that people miss in my career is I went to the CBA. The next year, I went to the
G
CBA.
League, G League now, but
Yeah, so I went to the CBA, played for Flip Saunders in the CBA. We had a killer team in the CBA. But the way he was playing me, I was like, man, I'm trying to get up to the league too. And he ended up trading me to Rochester, Minnesota.
okay,
Man, we had worst teams in the league. But I stuck it out. I didn't quit.
right.
Next year, I played summer league with the Portland Trail Blazers.
Okay.
He called me, said, man, I need a point guard. Guy named Bucky Buckwaters, he was the GM there. I was like, man, I got to play. He was like, nope, I'm not bringing any other point guard in camp but you. They had just drafted Tracy Murray, all those guys. So I said, okay, I'll come. Went there. We won the summer league that year. The guy named Bruce Stewart, who was the CBA coach in Grand Rapids, Michigan, he said, hey, if I trade for your rights, would you come to the CBA if you're not in the league? I was like, yeah, get me out of Rochester.
Right.
He traded for my rights. And at the same time, he traded for, he said that same summer when we were just about to play the championship game for the summer league, I remember this, but I didn't know it at the time. Lionel Hollins, who was assistant coach with Phoenix, he asked me, who's your agent? Who you represented by? But to me,
You're oblivious to that. Yeah.
I was oblivious to it.
Yeah.
So we win that. I go to Grand Rapids, play for Bruce Stewart. We had killer squad. We had Aaron Williams. We had Bo Outlaw. We had a guy named Reggie Jordan. Myself, he was my backcourt mate. Another left-hand guy, Reggie Jordan. We called him the Michael Jordan of the CBA.
Right.
A guy named Carl Thomas.
The singer?
Say again?
The singer?
No. This was a basketball player. But and we had 5 guys get called up off the same team in 2 weeks. And I got called up to Phoenix. Reggie Jordan went to the Clippers. I went to Phoenix the same day. Then the next week, Bo Outlaw got called up to Phoenix. Next week, Aaron got called up to Utah. And then Carl got called up to Utah too. So
Bo went to Phoenix too?
Bo went to
Clippers.
Bo went to the Clippers.
Clippers, yeah. I remember him with the Clippers.
That's how I ended up getting to Phoenix is
Gotcha.
on a 10-day contract out of the CBA.
And you get to Phoenix, and is it still the mentorship, like vets, like even though you a pro and been a pro, whether that's CBA or NBA, was it because y'all look like y'all had some continuity like nobody business?
Should have won.
Yeah.
Oh, you couldn't get 34.
Should have won it.
Chuck was there, right?
Chuck was there. No, I couldn't get 34, so I opted for 2. I took whatever they gave. What I said, I'm on a 10-day.
Yeah.
Right.
Bring me a jersey out. So I come in I took a red out of Phoenix that night. Got called up to Phoenix. Took a red out of Phoenix. Couldn't sleep. So we had shoot around at 10. I get there at 9. Just down in the gym, just shooting around. So Westfall come down, he just talking to me, whatever. I'd already signed my 10-day contract with Jared Colangelo. And you see Barkley come down, you see Kevin Johnson, you see AC Green, you see Dan Marley, you see all these guys I've been watching on TV the whole time. They just lost to Jordan them in the championship the prior year. And so Westfall bring us in, said, hey, this is Elliot Perry, whatever. This is our starting point guard tonight. I'm like, that,
He dropped that on you?
Yeah, he dropped that on me like that. And so I felt like I was walking back to the hotel after shoot around, and I just felt like, man, this was God's will.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, for sticking it out.
Right.
Like you never know where God is going to place you. This way you want to be. You want to be back in the league.
Right.
You back in the league with an opportunity on the 10-day. I just embraced that. Went out there game. We played Portland Trail Blazers that night. So just went out there and then just played, man.
Yeah.
Trust your preparation.
You became a huge fan favorite. We in South Carolina, so we watching everything. You know what I mean? Anything we could see, we watching it and whatnot. And I just I still remember the socks. You know what I mean? And the I don't know, was you still wearing the goggles then, or you was in contacts?
The NBA banned my goggles my first year.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
Because back then you couldn't
It was a
have
hazard.
like the writing on the band.
Yeah, I remember you had to wear them ones like Kareem or Worthy and them.
Yep. So I just got contacts.
Got you. But yeah, so we watching and everything. And KJ was he still there?
Yeah, KJ was there.
Yeah, KJ was still there. So we watching it and we like, man, they got a team. And what's it? Richard Dumas.
Born to play basketball.
Oh my gosh, he gave
to play basketball.
He gave Pippen everything he could
Couldn't do nothing
handle
with him.
that series.
Couldn't do nothing with him.
That was crazy. Like this was like, and Phil just said it. We like Sundays, we're laying on the floor looking at basketball. if we see one move that somebody did, remember Mahmoud Abdul Rauf did the little joint to the corner where he spent and turned and shot the jump shot. Yo, we
go work on that.
were trying that on. You said I don't remember that.
I said you going to work on that.
Oh yeah, man, we did.
We had to.
We
That
had
was
to.
it.
You know, but when Richard Dumas started hooping, we were sitting there like, who is this?
Yes.
And he just started killing.
Wicked.
Yeah, super athletic, all of
Everything.
and played his role. Did not like, hey man, I know Charles is the man. I know Dan Marley, all this.
Everything off the rim.
Still gonna get
Everything.
20. Still
Yeah.
gonna get 16.
Facts.
Still gonna get. Didn't matter, man.
Yeah.
Basketball savant. He was born. Richard Dumas was born to play basketball. Richard Dumas. He had a drug problem.
Yes.
He got suspended, so he was away from us damn near that whole year.
Right.
We get him back at the end of the year. Hadn't played any basketball, man. Come right in.
Right back
Right.
into it. Yeah.
He left something.
Yeah.
Let me get that.
So you get the nod, starting point guard. Like I'm just curious because, like I said, this is storytelling and in teaching. You take a red eye, you get there, starting point guard tonight. They give you you just got to come in ready, knowing.
Man, I was playing well in the CBA. I was
Right.
in the CBA in steals and assists. So, and like I said, we had a great team. I mean, great coach, great team, great chemistry. So my rhythm was there. And this against different competition. Talking about playing in the NBA, and Westfall said, "Hey, just go out and play basketball." You know,
Right.
the playbook. I was running fairly simple play. They had a lot of pretty simple plays anyway. You know, come down the left side of the floor, throw it into Charles Barkley, AC Green dive to the basket, and everybody else just space out. You know,
Right.
there's Ainge and Marlon on the weak side, and cut through. KJ was hurt at the time, and
Right.
so I started all game on 10 games out of the 10 days. I started all those games.
I forgot the other point guard used to back you up with the big teeth.
Frank Johnson.
Number 3.
Frank, really,
Yeah.
Frank was the one who
He had them veneers before they got
Frank
popular.
was the one
He
who
had
really
natural
For
veneers.
real.
somebody taking you on his wing.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the one who really my perspective on staying in the league and how I was going to stay in the league.
Really?
In my professional pro. I knew how to play basketball. I just go out there and play hard. But I wasn't doing any studying. I wasn't doing any of that. I'm just gonna go hoop, however. And he from know your personnel, to sitting on the bench and paying attention, all kind of all of the professional things about basketball, getting there early. We would work out in the morning.
Cheering your team on and all that
Cheer,
stuff. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We would get that in body language. We get that in the morning time. That was between Frank and I. Practice was at 10. What time we getting here, EP? What you got? We in the locker room 7:30. We on the floor at 8.
Yeah.
It became a game,
Yeah.
but we down there playing one-on-one. We shooting, we doing all that. We getting the sweat in, and still had to practice. So
Right.
again, that just taught me professionalism, and I passed that on to Ray. Like going to the gym early, all that. Yeah. So, but yeah, it was.
Yeah. That and it's crazy. That's what I said. I didn't meet you, but I seen you before, and even then, that Bucks team, like that was Carl was the coach.
Carl,
Carl.
that's really when they turned the corner. We had the ingredients to have a great team. When they brought in George Carl, then they traded me to New Jersey his first year.
Gotcha.
But that team was really set because the year prior, before George Carl, we had Chris Ford. We came one
Ford,
game
that's the name.
from going to the playoffs. So we were right there. We didn't make the playoffs. We were one game from making the playoffs, and so that was unfortunate. Then George Carl came in. I was in the Sam Cassell trade with Stephon Marbury, so I went to, and then Terrell Brandon. So Terrell Brandon was with
Yeah,
me
he was
in
tough
Milwaukee.
too. He was tough.
With me in Milwaukee.
Underrated.
Terrell Brandon, So, I mean, and my thing is, I embraced being a backup. Like I took the job serious. I was going to be professional at what I did. I was going to push that guy day in and day out. But I didn't cry over minutes. I didn't cry like whatever minutes I got. Those were the minutes I was supposed to get. But playing behind KJ, playing behind Terrell Brandon, playing behind Jason Kidd, playing behind Stephon Marbury, I mean, you know, those guys were going to get heavy minutes.
Right.
But, and then if they went down or something like that, I was ready to play. But
Right.
that's what I feel like, you know, that professionalism is. And I think Frank Johnson helped me with that.
I know, as you know, I played point guard. Those are first people like I critique pretty high.
too.
You know, how do you think like that position has evolved? I know Steph Curry like basically blew it all the way up. You know, but like, how do you think that position has evolved to this day? Because some teams, I don't even think it exists no more. I just think it's just a big guard bringing it down and just initiating the offense.
I mean, I still evaluate guys in terms of can they make adjustments on in-game adjustments? And if they see something, can they exploit that? Like, I see a guy overplaying me. I see a guy going under on the pick and roll. I see a guy like, what adjustments are you making in your own game?
Right.
And then how are you keeping your guys involved?
Yeah.
And a lot of times when I say how you keep your guys involved, sometimes it's not necessarily I gotta get this guy the ball every time.
Right.
It's like if I'm pulling the guy to the side, going to talk to a guy,
Right.
get you a shot, you know. Whoa, what you doing? I mean, hold on. You know, we're playing defense this. So really just kind of trying to keep my teammates engaged enough where, you know, they're not, if they're not getting the basket. I played with Glenn Robinson. Like, Glenn Robinson was a guy like,
You touch it.
if I ain't touching it,
Yeah.
EP.
Yeah.
Check me out. That would be.
I knew.
That would be. Phil knew that too.
And
Yeah.
he would always be like, EP, what's, and I always knew I got you.
Yeah,
dog.
yeah.
Right.
I'm coming to you.
Right.
And I'll go to the coach and be like, man, we got to get Glenn,
Yeah.
Right.
whatever. And so
That's
I think
adjusting on the fly though.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you remember what Big Dog did to this defender the last time they played. So it's like, yeah, we either going to him immediately or we gonna work it around the first quarter, second quarter, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, we gonna let him relax a little bit. But he don't know we really gonna do the same thing we did to him the last time y'all played against each other. So I agree with that. Like, that's a big aspect of the game that I look, because you really are the coach on the floor.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm making this on the fly, coach. Like, we gonna start off this way, but then we gonna go to Big Dog. I think MJ did that very well. Like, I'm gonna either destroy you at the beginning, and then I'm gonna take the second quarter off and let Pippen and them kill you, or I'm gonna let Pippen and them kill you the first
I'll get you on
quarter,
the
then I'm gonna get you the second.
Yeah.
But either way, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna get your 30, 40, 50 out of MJ. It's just how you want it. You want it earlier, we gonna give it to you later. But it ain't gonna be close.
Yep.
Speaking on that point guard joint, and I do believe that point guard's supposed to have the best IQ on the floor, right? And so how that translates, you never thought to be a coach?
I tried. Several people tried to get me to coach and offer me jobs, but I just, you know, it's one of those games. Like, I feel like it's a calling. You know, coaching, being a coach is a calling. You know, you got to be missionally aligned with being a coach. If you're not, particularly in the NBA, it's gonna kill you because it's work. You know, and so I just decided that I didn't want to coach. And if I did coach, I would rather coach at high school level.
Yeah.
You know, that's just me. I'd rather coach at the high school level, but
You sure you don't want to do junior high now?
no, I don't want to do no junior high.
I mean, high school.
I go high school.
High school like professional now too.
Yeah, it's like professional now, but it's still I'm more of a basketball life coach. You know, I want to pour into guys what life is all about,
Right.
versus
Yep.
it's just this is not who I am.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? This is what I do.
Yep.
There are many things about me. There are young people who know me now who don't even
They don't even know you
don't
play
even know I play
basketball, right.
You know
You
what I mean?
train? Did you train?
Say again.
Did you train kids?
Not really. I just been mentoring a lot of people, you know, and I feel like that's my gift
Yeah.
is, you know, giving people an opportunity to have a different perspective, if you will. And it don't always go your way,
Right.
but I always feel like where God put you, that's where you're supposed to be. That's your journey. You know what I'm saying? Your journey is unlike anybody else's journey. It's your journey specific.
Yeah.
And you're gonna make some good decisions. You're gonna make some bad decisions. But again, that's just part of growing up. And you know, so for me, that's always been one of those things where talking to players, good or bad, whatever situation you in, at the end of the day, it's going to be all right.
Yeah. So you segued into this a little bit, but I was talking about going to, Memphis State. Now it's Memphis Tigers, but I still call it Memphis State. But you get into, like, all right, I'm a step away from the game, but you're still involved with the games, with the Memphis Grizzlies and stuff. Like, what was that decision like? You know what? I'm going home. Once you decide, like, yo, I'm retiring from the basketball game, I'm going home. And how did you transition into the role that you have now with the Grizzlies? Because you are still a minority owner.
The owner, yeah. So when I retired, I told you I was going to take a year off or so. Man, kick back, learn how to play golf. And that summer, I got a call from my plan was that Jerry Colangelo said, go ahead, take a year off. We'll hire you in Phoenix in our front office, do community stuff or whatever. So I was like, cool. I knew I had a job.
Right.
So I'd always been a player rep on every team I was on. And that started in Phoenix because nobody wanted the job. They just
right.
like, oh, he'll do it, So I embraced it. When I went to Milwaukee and then I went to New Jersey, I was a player rep. So I knew Billy well. And he called me that summer and was like, hey, we got an opening with the NBA Players Association. Do you want what you think? Like, I don't want the job. He's like, well, I'll tell you what, fly to New York. Let me bring you through the office. Let's talk about it. And if you don't want it, then cool. So I was like, man, I don't have a resume. I don't have anything. He's like, I know you.
Mm-hmm.
So I flew to New York, a couple of days there, came back home. He called me 48 hours later. It was like, man, job yours if you want it with the NBA Players Association. And I thought that, so I took that job, was there for a year, loved it. Now, absolutely loved it.
You were in New York?
No, I was
okay.
Do it from here, so that's
gotcha.
how I got back home.
Gotcha.
So you could do it from here. You were responsible for 6 teams, and Memphis was one. So I was already home. Charlotte, Phoenix. Nobody wanted Denver, so they sent me out to Denver,
right,
and New Orleans. So those were my 5 teams, and then I get a call from the businessman here, Staley Cates, who you guys know, asking me about, do I want to be in the ownership group with the Grizzlies? And
you hear ownership.
I heard ownership, but what I really heard was, one, I never thought that could be possible, but then 2, man, I ain't got the chips for that. So I'm just being honest with you.
Right.
To their credit, they helped me get it done. And I'm indebted to Staley in a lot of ways. That's one of the ways, because again, had it not been for his vision and his ability to help me get the financing and all those things done, I in all honesty, I couldn't have done it.
Right.
I think that goes to show you that relationships are more important than money sometimes. And so yeah, man, that's how I got back to Memphis and ended up staying in Memphis. It's been a true blessing to be back home in the community doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. Did you have to resign?
Yeah, so I had to resign from the.
If you get in the ownership group, I got you.
I hate that because my boss was Purvis Short, who, couldn't ask for a better boss.
Right.
The guys I was working with, that were unbelievable guys. So, but yeah, retired from that, and it's been good ever since.
Right. I hear that, and then I sit back and I just think, like, you actually came home. You actually contribute to not only the franchise as an owner, but also as an employee. And then at the same time, you spoke about the mentoring, and that was one of the big things you talked about when we initially met. Not when nephew visited Memphis, before the draft, but after we got here, and watching you and talking to you and having some coffee with you and stuff a bit, like the mentoring program, and then introduce us to Grizzly Prep. Why is it so important for these players when they come to these new cities to be impactful in their in the community?
Yeah, I feel like
it's home for you, so it's like
I think somebody said like rent is a service is the rent you pay, and I wouldn't be where I am, and I feel like this for all of us is had it not been for people just supporting you in a lot of different ways, whether they were calling a mentor, whether that was your pastor, whether that was somebody in the neighborhood telling you, you don't belong here, go do, you got something else to do, protecting you.
I wanted to ask that question, like, what kept you, like the stigma is always like Memphis is this, Memphis is that, what kept you locked in tunnel vision to basketball outside of the Memphis streets? Was it a specific person who came 100%. In and was like, yo, you can't do this, you can't do that. Like we hear the stories about how D-Rose brother those kept him away. So like, what was it that kept you away from
100%. My mentor, Michael Tony, 1,000%. Yeah, I was doing the same thing everybody else doing in the neighborhood, and at the same time, like these things were coming together at the right time.
Right.
At the same time, I was getting better in basketball, but not the way like people think I'm going to the league better. It's like, no, I'm hooping with these guys in the streets, or I'm hooping with these guys in the community center. Just, ooh, he nice, And
like Chuck killing every day, right?
Right.
They going home. They gotta come back. Like, but we gotta shut him down, bro. He cooking right now.
Or Chuck getting killed.
Yeah, right.
And Chuck gotta go back and
right.
get that tea or get that, get that
field.
Yeah.
Right.
But Michael Tony, who was he was a freshman in college, he stayed up the street from me, and I knew him, but I didn't really know him. And he sat me down. I was down there really talking to his dad. He sat me down on the steps in front of his house one day and started just bombarding me with questions like, what do you think about now? This before he didn't know I was a good basketball player, like coming up too, because I'm in the 6th grade or whatever at the time. When you going to college? And so I'm not family going. I ain't thinking about going to college. What's your favorite? Where you travel to? Ain't giving me just giving me all that. And so after that, he just started coming down to our house and asking my mom, "Can man, come up here?" Just. He had a little rim on the side of his house, so we just shoot on that sometimes. And then, like I said, he was a freshman in college at Memphis State at the time. He just started like, come ride with me. He was in summer school, so I go to Memphis State, sit in the classroom with him. Really what he was doing was he was just a little bit at a time, exposing me. What's possible? What's possible? So my mindset started to change. At the same time, I'm getting better as a basketball player too. So he's taking me to Memphis. I'm getting killed. He put me on Larry Simpson, Andre Turner, killing. He'll come back. And I think right around the time I was like 7th, 8th grade, because I got cut off the team in the 7th grade, and I came back in the 8th grade with a new coach. And I remember one year I was like, man, it's crazy, man. I can't do it. He was like, man, what you tripping about? I said, man, I can't. Man, don't use can't. You can do anything you want to do. And
we was taught that as kids.
Do anything you want to
do. Can't even do that.
And so the most valuable thing he ever did for me was he said, man, come here. Took me to a mirror. Like, see a little boy looking back at you. Everything you need to know in life, he gonna be the first one to tell you. Be the first one to tell you when to quit. He'll be the first one to tell you when to dig in. He'll be the first one to tell you if you can do this or not. He's gonna be like everything you need. You see him? Either you with him or you not.
Right.
And I knew then that, okay, self-confidence is everything I need. And so you guys saw in college, I wore a knee pad that said confidence is the key. Yeah. But even before then, I think he instilled in me, you can do anything, but you just got to be willing to, you got to keep going and have confidence in yourself. So that was it.
Yeah, I see it. We came to Grizz Prep, need to get, back out there, with the young men. And I saw that. I saw the work that you do and continue to do, and I admire that, and that's why I asked that question, because I think, a lot of times in this journey, again, some get it, and it's not a lot of them, but some don't understand the philanthropy part, you know, because I think a lot of the athletes in the shoes you were in, y'all get fast tracked.
Yeah.
Because y'all are a talent. And I think a lot of these kids get that, you know. So when they get into the respective city, they don't know that part. Like, I need to give back to the city that I'm about to be a part of, you know. And that's why I was asking that, because you were able to come home and do, man, you played college basketball in your city. You actually went to play professional basketball. I think your last few games was with the Grizzlies.
My 10 day, yeah.
Yeah, with the Grizzlies. And then you end up being a minority owner, and you actually do play-by-play. Yeah. That's, man, like, to me, that is, you can't beat that. You know what I mean? That's so full circle.
So Memphis.
And that's so really Memphis. What we're trying to put out there with this podcast, like, people to hear stories, even if it didn't go all the way. It's like like what you were saying, it's your journey, and it's like, however you want to set it up or make it, every one of these stories ain't going to be like that.
Right.
Because that's when you hear it and you like, man, that's a success story. Like, yeah, but I'm sure it's some other pieces and parts in there where it's like, man, it wasn't always like this. And when you talk about the CBA and stuff like that, you know, like, I admire stories like that. I admire a person like people just, when you hear the name PJ Tucker, first thing you think about, sneakers. But like, people don't know, like, man, if you know that dude's journey to get to, even for y'all to even be talking about him, you'll be sitting there like, and he never was a superstar. You get what I'm saying?
To me, I always look back at that little boy in the neighborhood in Tupelo in North Memphis, is like, this him. Who would have ever thought? Yeah. You know, and so that's why I say, man, I always tell young people, you know, be where you are. Be present where you are. Mm-hmm. You know, because God got you here for a reason. Like, where you are is either helping you grow, and your ebbs and flows, your ups and downs, those things are not to kill you. They're to help protect you, guide you, lead you. So when it's a reason God allow you to look back at where you come from and not ahead. Because if most of us looked ahead, if something don't go our way, we wouldn't go. You know, we would try to take the shortcut. We wouldn't go. And so I always tell young people, man, you good. This just a part of life. This is a small part of your entire journey. And when you look back on it, you're gonna be like, man, if I hadn't, all of us said this before, man, if I hadn't gone through that, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah. And so, a lot of regrets.
To be able to and I always tell young people too, is it's a difference. You know, like, you know the big megaphone people have, that cheerleaders have, like this big megaphone, they talk. Yeah. I said, now imagine if you turned it around on the big end and you just looked at the small end. Yeah. You see what you see, right? Right. Versus if I turned around and looked at the big end, you see a bigger picture. Yeah. And so think about the big picture and not always, you know, the and it's hard to do sometimes, because when you're in the moment, you're just thinking about,
man, how am I get out of this?
This bullshit.
Okay, so my son says I'm his biggest hater.
Yeah.
You know, I trained him like no other as far as cursing out, blah, blah, blah. Now, you got an athlete coming up. What does that look like?
I think it's a combination, you know. And I think you have to know your kid too, you know, at the same time. I mean, you got a guy that wanted to prove not only to you, but I feel like he and his family, I feel like he wanted to prove to himself too. It's like, these folks say I'm this, and I'm putting in the work, but I'm really this, and I know I'm this, but I gotta wait my turn so these folks to know who I am,
right?
And that's why God led him the way he led him. The guy, I mean, I heard y'all story, like the guy saw him in back gym or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if you would have been front, you wouldn't have had the chip on your shoulder that
Right.
you got on your shoulder. If
Right.
you didn't have a team of rent, feeling them, pushing you like they were pushing you, dogging you out like they were dogging you out, you wouldn't have the chip on your shoulder like you do. Now in the moment, it feels like, man, I don't want to do this at times, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, so for me, it would be a
Your daughter,
combination
your
of
daughter
all, yeah.
is
Volleyball player, yeah.
sophomore,
She'll be a senior this year.
senior,
yeah.
senior this year. How do you push her, or do you push her?
Yeah, I used to push her hard, and she decided this year that she didn't want to play volleyball in college. I hate that because, you know, she wouldn't have played at a big college, but she would have played in college. I just feel like there's something to playing in college. I always feel like there's something to playing sports in college that's a benefit to life, you know. But I gotta fall back on my own advice.
Yeah.
It's your journey.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And it's
that's why I
funny
tell
you say that
it's your journey.
because my daughter is going away from basketball.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's trying to do the realtor thing. But as a father, all we can do is sit back and support,
Right.
whether boy or girl. Of course, you're gonna be hard on the boy, you know, as a father, you know. But at the same time, you know, I was just wondering, like, when it was going through, did you allow the coach to coach, or you, and then you cleaned up what you thought?
I want coaches to coach. The first thing I tell every coach she's been under is coach her hard. Because I'm telling you, my daughter, she'll go. If you coach her hard, she'll go. But like, if you just sitting back waiting on her to go on her own,
Right.
she may not go, but if you push her hard, you know, she'll go.
Right,
So
right.
yeah, I say, man, yeah, push her, and some kids adapt. And some kids just like, if you push them too hard, they quit.
Right.
That's just the facts of it.
How do you find that happy median?
You got to know your
You
kid.
gotta know,
Man,
You got to know your kid.
And as a
you
coach,
know.
you got to know your players.
Yes.
facts.
That's, to me, when it come down to coaching, that's a lost art.
It is.
Really having that personal relationship with your players enough that if I was coaching, I don't just want to know what you're doing on the court.
Right.
How your family doing? You know,
Facts.
what how your sister? I was watching a little clip of your sister. I see she how you doing personally? You know, and I feel like this is building relationships. When you win, top owner, general manager, coach, players, all that's got to come together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If it's all separate, it's gonna show up somewhere, and typically it shows up when things get harder and tougher. You know, so again, as a player, you may put in the work, you may be killing these guys, but when we get to St. Louis, we playing in the Nationals, we playing the best 42 teams. We get down to the last 4. It's gonna show up.
Yeah.
If you ain't him who you say you are, it's gonna show up.
Yeah, for sure. And then they're gonna write about it and stuff and talk about it, and then you're really gonna get in your feelings. But I do want to end on this because I think it's very important, and I think it's important for people to know who don't know about your legacy. And another one of your mentors, Darryl Walker.
Yeah, man.
Like
D-Walk, yeah.
you picked up that art bug from
D-Walk.
Darryl Walker,
100%.
and correct me if I'm wrong. They got rankings and everything, but I think you and your wife pretty elite in the African American art collection.
We up there. Well,
I think y'all is like the top 5, if I'm not mistaken.
we up there.
Collectors.
Yeah, we up there. But again, a lot of that comes from it. Like I always say, is be open to learning.
Right.
Don't shut anything off. Like, you may not like it, but I'll listen. And you know, it doesn't cost you anything to listen. And that came from Darryl Walker and I going overseas. Charles Barkley took a group of us over to Japan for 9 days to play 3 exhibition games over there. 16-hour flight. I sat next to Darryl, and he telling me about his collection. He had started collecting. Bernard King got him started collecting.
Right.
Bernard King had one of the wickedest. I mean, to me, I wish Bernard King still had his collection because he set the pace.
Really?
The stuff he was collecting in the 80s, I mean, incredible. So I always admired Bernard King for that. And then Daryl got me started collecting. And then, you know, man, I just reading, learning, being open, get in the city, drop my bag. Daryl tell me to go to this place. Go to that place.
You already know the
Yeah.
field trips you taking.
I wouldn't no games. I drop my bag. The guys still be down there trying to find their bag. I'd be up, boom, drop my bag. Man, hold on, EP, wait. I'm gone. You know, going to a museum, going to an artist studio, going to a gallery or a show, and just caught the bug. And from there, just kept learning, collecting, meeting artists. And most of the artists we were collecting early were dead artists at the time. A few of them were still living. Benny Andrews, Elizabeth Catlett, some of those artists were still living. And 2004, I did a 180 and only started collecting young living contemporary artists. And that's really been the crux of what we've been doing for the last 21 years is supporting young artists early.
Right.
And building those relationships with those artists. And it's been a great journey. So,
man, I actually knew something about this, you know, some years ago and whatnot, and just, you know, we only see it in movies when somebody trying to steal a piece out of a museum or something like that. And it's like, wait, we got a real live collector around us that we actually see at the arena and stuff like this, and it's like, man, like to me, I'm like, that goes right into the rest of the legacy that you imprinted on this city, state of Tennessee, in your, you know, the Perry household and whatnot.
I appreciate it, man. Like I said, I've gotten more from this city than I've given to it, you know, about with people supporting me. And so I just feel like
I think
my
that's your
obligation to
humility.
pay back.
That's
Yeah.
your humility.
Yeah.
Because you definitely gave more. Definitely. I mean, I think you showed the youngsters, you know, if you stuck to it, you know, how legendary you can be, and you're definitely a Memphis legend.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate you.
Hey, we appreciate you coming, man, spending some time with us, man, on the podcast here in Memphis. Teed Up Podcast. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, Teed Up Podcast.